Hi Scorpio, I hope you're doing amazing. Welcome to a next 48-hour tarot reading for you. I do want to remind you this is general and it's meant to pertain to the following 48-hour period for you, beginning around when you were guided or drawn to this video, not just following when I post it. But I also want to thank you in advance for hitting that like button, subscribing to this channel, and joining the Scorpion tribe if you haven't done so already, and leaving one, if not many, comments down below. That felt like a mouthful. I do feel the need to say right off the bat, you may be in a bit of a goofy mood at certain points in the next 48. In the several attempts to get this reading going, I started speaking in a weird voice, okay, a goofy voice. So don't be surprised if stuff of that nature takes place. But I did get a bit frustrated at one point. It did not feel like my energy. So do try to take a deep breath when moments of frustration do arise. Okay, let's pull from the Energy Oracle deck. I'm thinking one, maybe two at most. Let's see what we get. Okay, Thinking Woman, the Thinking Woman, as well as Angel of Balance. So these two being definitely relevant for the next 48 for you, where male or female, you're very in touch with your feminine side in certain ways, and that may shine through as well when you're feeling a bit goofy, even when you're feeling very studious, just focused on your work, on producing, developing, making smart decisions moving forward is what I'm getting. But I do sense that there's an angel coming to visit you, potentially a passed over ancestor, family member, something of the sort, to remind you that you're cared for, that you're being looked after, guided all the meanwhile. But there's a need for balance at this time. The Angel of Balance came out for a reason. You will feel quite angelic at certain points, but it feels like it won't be in moments of frustration. You need to balance the areas of your life out at this time, and that will take a highlight in the next 48. Look at that. Underneath it all, the Thinking Man. This may be someone more so in their masculine energy that you're connected to energetically, or just spending time with, considering, where it feels like you're bonding with somebody in touch with their masculine side because you're both definite thinkers, right? Where you get caught up in your head from time to time, but it's part of what helps you become successful. Very interesting. I do feel like, especially those putting themselves on social media or in the public eye in certain ways, are just feeling very successful. In the next 48, you're going to notice a bit of envy. People who are a little bit jealous, a bit insecure, something negative to say. Very, very interesting. We'll put these here. And I actually feel the need to put the Thinking Woman. It feels more the main energy in comparison to Angel of Balance. Let's move on to the Light Seers. Actually, I'm going to do the Gilded wherever I put that. Bear with me. A little bit disorganized. I feel like you have a lot going on in your mind, in your heart, your soul. You're trying to choose between options, or just sort through all that you have on your plate, all that you need to get done, having timely tasks at hand for some, or just trying to do more than you probably should, right? Feeling very determined, very, okay, they said outrageous. I don't know what that's about, but feeling very motivated to get a lot done, right? Potentially wanting to be a busybody, or just wanting to exceed expectations, even your own. But I do sense that, again, there needs to be that balance between rest, between rest and working and getting things accomplished, but also a nice balance between the areas of your life. Have you been watering your friendships enough, right? Have you been watering your work too much in comparison to the other areas, if I could even speak in your reading? Did you sense a little bit of frustration there? What else do we have for Scorpio? Oh, but feeling like, again, you have a lot going on within you, outside of you, getting a lot accomplished all the meanwhile. Do pay attention to details is what I'm hearing, but don't stress them. You may feel the need to, or get the push from spirit at a certain point or certain points, to just tidy up, clean up. Things may feel a bit disorganized or just not in tip-top shape. Okay, everybody else needs to do their part is what I'm hearing. However that works out for you, whether that's at home, it could be at work, you name it. Interestingly enough, we have 5 cards right off the bat. Your dreams might stress you out, very spiritually connected. All the meanwhile, yes, there's an angel, a spirit, passed over loved one coming to visit you to help you out, Could be more than one for the very spiritually connected drawn to this reading. But there are some messing with you through your dreams. Okay, just keep that in mind. It happens to me pretty much every night, so I can relate. But let's see here. The World card at the center of your tarot cards over here, because the next 48 is highlighting the fact that your world is changing. Things are not meant to be the same moving forward, but it can feel a bit eye-opening, a bit startling, a bit rocky in certain ways, because things are not going to be exactly how they once were, right? And that's how you relate to certain people, how you go about working your day-to-day job or running your business. Things could be switching up as far as your financial investments go. I just feel like you're changing on a core level in certain ways, and that's evidently showing through changes taking place even outside of your control in your external reality. Does that make sense? But things are aligning and switching up in the way they're meant to. Just keep that in mind. But it feels like through this, the uncertainty is kicking in, right? Taking a highlight in your mind, in your soul at certain points, but a need to expect the best. It's like with certain people, you're expecting the worst. Okay, prove me wrong once, prove me right the next time. Does that make sense? I feel like you're learning people's ways, but at the same time, you can't let that expectation in a negative sense with other people get in the way of what you're trying to accomplish in the moment, or just quality-wise, or just affect your high vibration or your mood in a negative way. I just also feel like there's points in the next 48 where as things change and develop, you are just simply putting in the hard work when need be and saying, you know what, I may not be in the mood to work, I may not be in the mood to run my business, but I'm going to be the mature Scorpio that I know I am at this point along my path, and just do what I have to do. They're saying slow it down. For me as a reader, but your energy, I'm just feeling the need to rant. I'm feeling the need to get it all out at once. It's like when you think you're done speaking, there's more to come out. Spirit could be speaking through you. It's almost surpassing your normal storytelling abilities, way of being. And just, it's like you just have so much to say, so much to express. So my advice, Spirit's advice at this time would be find a way to get a creative release, right? Whether that's creating art, singing, listen to music, dancing, you name it, go for a walk, a run. Find a way where you can physically or just creatively release, okay? And it's gonna make those rants a lot less intense, right? Overbearing in certain ways. You don't mean it's like you mean well, right? It just at times all builds up. I mean, it plays into, coincides with the fact that you have a lot going on, okay? You're only human. And I feel like at times there's a need to remember to separate work drama or stress or difficulties from the home life, right? Or business stress, drama, difficulties, I want to say with obstacles, from your home life or from your friendships, your family, even your relationship for some, okay? Don't go on those over storytelling rants to the point where it seeps into what could be some healthy bonding time or just relaxing, peaceful moments. But I do feel like there are moments in the next 48 where you're pushed to embrace your hermit mode, and there's a highlight on you individually, in the leader within in certain ways, okay? How are you changing and how do you feel about it? Probably not 100% about it, but I do feel like for some of you, it's this feeling where it will click or just be reiterated in one's mind when you're alone. This is happening for a reason, okay? And down the line, you'll look back and think, well, I'm so grateful for all of those changes, even if you can't fully get in touch with that gratitude, at this time, okay? Your body may even feel like it's changing as well in certain ways. Adapt is what I'm hearing. The Ace of Swords, it's the next 48 where you're gaining a lot of clarity, okay? When you're alone, when you're with other people, when things are just feeling different. I feel the need to say that you are just not meant to be who you used to be, period. So there may be certain moments where even if you don't have a lot of time to reflect, you're somewhat reflecting on past versions of oneself, the experiences you've been through. There may be moments where items, the feeling in the air where you're living or working may give you a bit of a flashback to an old chapter of your life or just a specific past experience. And I feel as if this is to keep one's perspective alive. Imagine if that didn't change up. Imagine if things didn't switch in that sense between then and now, right? I feel you would have felt bored. Things were too stagnant. It wouldn't have matched who you are at this point. And as things continue to grow and change, and you do obviously as well, there's a need to with this dove here to keep the hope alive. Okay. There's going to be a moment or two when you're staring at something in the next 48 and you just kind of squint your eyes, and not as if you're going to cry. I mean, maybe you do need that emotional release, but it's just this moment where you're wondering, asking oneself, without even asking oneself, how are things going to proceed? A little bit of confusion, but clarity coming in all the meanwhile in other ways. Allow for oneself to recognize or just to remember as you proceed, right? And you manage a lot as you typically would do as a Scorpio, even when you don't need to. The clarity will come in as it's meant to. Just do some soul searching when need be, but don't overdo it, and allow oneself to tap into that ability that you so strongly have to adapt to. There's showing somebody going around certain obstacles, kind of like a video game driving a car. You've got this, okay? Just remember that things are changing for the better, and you have no reason to be worried or to be scared, to be fearful of what lies ahead, because things are going to start to fall into place and work in your favor. All right? So I hope this was truly helpful. I'm sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy the next 48, and I'll definitely see you next time. Bye, Scorpio.